Coming up on this week's edition of Whether or Not. It's been another active week of weather, but we saw big changes for the middle of the week. Will those changes last? Ryan Belz is coming up with your forecast. And in Nature in the News, we take a look at the latest in tornado safety and heat safety. All of this and more, Whether or Not, starts right now. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Whether or Not. I'm your host, Christy Reuille.
And I'm your forecaster, Ryan Belz.
Well, Ryan, we sure saw some big changes hit the area middle of the week after that cold front moved through.
That's for sure. It got bone-chilling cold out there for this time of the year, though, at night.
That's right. We saw temperatures dip down into the 50s for some overnight lows here.
Wasn't used to that kind of weather. That's supposed to stay for the winter months.
It really is, but is that going to last into the weekend, or is summer going to make a comeback?
Luckily not. Looks like we're going to look for a warming trend going into the weekend. Looks like it's going to be pretty nice out there.
Well, that's definitely what I like to hear. We'll look forward to more details on the forecast coming up in your forecast. But for now, here's Nature in the News.
After 2 failed attempts, NASA was finally able to launch its new carbon dioxide tracking satellite into space earlier this month. Earlier attempts in 2009 and 2011 failed due to rocket malfunctions, and an attempt earlier this month was aborted at the last minute after engineers discovered a water flow problem on the launch pad. This satellite, the OC-02, has a 2-year mission to provide scientists with detailed pictures of natural sources of carbon dioxide. Scientists also hope to see where the Earth's surface absorbs CO2. The satellite will take 24 carbon measurements of the atmosphere every second, but any clouds in the sky will impede its capabilities. Of the approximately 1 million measurements the satellite will take each day, NASA expects about 100,000 of those, or just 10%, to be sufficiently cloud-free to be useful.
Inspired by last year's devastating tornadoes in Oklahoma, Dr. Steve Walker and Sam Schoen have developed a tornado life jacket called Bodyguard. Manufactured by ProTech, Bodyguard is a blanket-like protective shield made from heavy-duty nylon, an impact gel, and a high-tech body armor material that will together significantly reduce the impact of flying debris moving up to 350 miles per hour during a tornado. Flying debris is one of the biggest threats to children sheltering in school hallways during a tornado. So Walker and Schoen designed the Bodyguard so that a class of 20 students could be covered in the lightweight but protective blankets in under 2 minutes. After consulting with first responders, the blankets were made bright colors to make possible victims easier to find. With prices starting at $300 per blanket, Schoen also hopes that these blankets could be a more affordable alternative to storm shelters. Schoen says that while he can't save everyone's lives, he still has to try.
Many people in northern Pennsylvania and southern New York were outraged when their local ABC affiliate, WENY-TV in Horseheads, New York, interrupted coverage of the World Cup final to bring their viewers coverage of severe weather in the area. With 6 minutes left in the overtime game between Germany and Argentina, WENY chief meteorologist Joe Veras came on the air to warn viewers of a tornado warning issued within their viewing area. Some sports fans immediately took to social media to express their displeasure with the potentially life-saving news, blasting the station with angry tweets. Although some soccer fans wanted the station to put the sporting event before the lives of the viewers, the weather wasn't going to wait until after the game. The National Weather Service later confirmed an EF1 tornado in Reading, New York at 4:40 on Sunday afternoon, less than 20 miles from WENY. Since the social media outburst, Joe Veras made a statement on his Facebook page reminding viewers the station's commitment to keeping the community safe and that no sporting event would stop that.
As summertime heats up, so does the risk for heat stroke. But last Friday, the National Athletic Trainers Association released new guidelines on treating heat stroke victims, urging coaches and paramedics to change their procedures. These new guidelines stress immediately cooling a heat stroke victim. Douglas Casa, Director of Athletic Training Education at the University of Connecticut, says that heat stroke, when a person's core temperature rises above 104 degrees, is the only time a medical condition needs to be treated before the victim is transported to a hospital. Getting a person's core temperature down within 30 minutes of collapse could save their life, but often this crucial time is lost waiting for an ambulance and driving to a hospital. CASA stresses the need for heat acclimatization, especially for high school athletes after becoming all too used to air-conditioned living. For local student athletes, the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association outlines a 3-day heat acclimatization period for high school football players, but has no heat acclimatization guidelines for other sports. And now to see if we will need to become acclimated to the heat here in Central PA, here's Ryan Belz with your forecast.
Hello there, Central Pennsylvania, and yes, we are looking at a rebound of our temperatures going into the weekend, but along with that, we're looking at the chance for precipitation moving back into the forecast. For Central Pennsylvania, we're looking at high pressure dominating our weather for your Friday, providing us with mostly sunny skies. It's going to make its way in from the Ohio Valley and move right on into our neck of the woods. Off the coast, you can see the cold front here. That's the cold front that brought us that midweek relief earlier this week, where it brought temperatures down just slightly from all those summertime temperatures that we've been experiencing. Off to the south and west, you can see precipitation just barely making its way onto the screen there, and that's going to be our weather maker going into Saturday and Sunday. For your Saturday, we're looking at scattered afternoon showers and storms possible. It's not going to be a complete washout on Saturday. We're going to see partly cloudy skies to start off your day, and then the chance for scattered showers and storms moves in during the afternoon hours as high pressure makes its way on up into the New England area. Moving on to Sunday, wrapping up the weekend. Better chance for precipitation on Sunday, but again, it's not going to be a complete washout. We're looking at partly cloudy to a few mostly cloudy skies throughout the region, and then scattered afternoon showers and storms will make their way in for the late afternoon and early evening. So your weekend forecast, taking a look at your Friday, 79 degrees, almost hitting 80 there, but it's going to be a gorgeous day outside for your Friday. Get out there and enjoy the start to the weekend. Going into your Friday night, low is going to top out in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees with increasing clouds before your Saturday comes and we start to see that chance for precipitation move back into the forecast. It's not going to be a complete washout. Don't let this deceive you. We're actually going to see some sun through these clouds. It's going to be a nice start to the Saturday, but afternoon scattered showers and thunderstorms are in the forecast with temperatures near 77 degrees. Going into your Saturday night, look for lows in the low 60s, mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out the slight chance for a scattered shower. And going into your Sunday, wrapping up the weekend, 79 degrees. Again, another day with scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. Not a complete washout. Beginning portions of the day look very nice. We'll be back with a look at your forecast for next week.
This isn't a new river. No, it's North Atherton Street in downtown State College. In recent weeks, summer storms have brought flooding rains that have transformed some borough streets into raging rivers. This stretch of Atherton outside of the bus terminal has always been a trouble spot in heavy rain, with traffic being brought to a halt on several occasions. The flooding hasn't been limited to Atherton Street, though. Numerous streets around town have had similar problems. Even State College High School's Memorial Field has turned soggy more than once this summer. Thanks to storms this past weekend, it looked more like a lake than a football field. These problems boil down to simple topography, and there isn't an easy solution. Memorial Field is a natural low point here in State College, and it is meant to flood in the event of heavy rains. That flooding drains through this natural sinkhole under the eastern stands. Now that sinkhole has been recently remodeled to help expedite the process.
We did a project in which we excavated and put what we refer to as a reverse filter Basically, it's excavating all the soft material in and around the throat of the sinkhole, cleaned it all out, and then started building up started with large rock and then came up with smaller and smaller rock until you really had fine grit at the top.
With the new materials in place, there has been a noticeable improvement in drainage at Memorial Field.
If you watch the field, it works pretty well. It will flood for a very short period of time, but generally within 2 hours after the flooding event, it's been dissipated. It will take everything that it's been served.
When the field floods, the only noticeable impact is debris piled up on the sidelines. The flooding simply appears to be more of a problem than it actually is. However, other low-lying areas aren't as lucky. The parking lot of Alpha Fire Company is another low point in the borough, and while there are storm pipes under my feet, once they fill up, the water simply has nowhere to go. The lack of drainage by the fire station actually impacts flooding farther up the street. Right now, Atherton Street by the bus station works to hold water so that flooding doesn't get worse at Alpha Fire. If Atherton Street drained more quickly by the bus station, the problem would simply be moved a few blocks down the street.
You're just going to get the water to the fire hall faster. That's all. You'll mitigate the flooding in one area, but you're going to exacerbate the flooding in another area.
Fixing many of these trouble spots would require costly and complicated projects, so the Department of Public Works is focused on long-term improvements to the entire system.
Some of the new methods of dealing with stormwater is not to put it in a pipe. The idea is to get it on the ground, because the more water that you have on the surface, the more opportunities you have for infiltration. When it's in a pipe, you have no opportunity for infiltrations.
The borough is currently working to improve infiltration by minimizing the usage of impermeable surfaces. New sidewalks are being paved with brick, allowing water to seep through the gaps and into the ground. In the future, the borough may incorporate green roofs, rain gardens, and even open channels to create more natural drainage and hopefully alleviate some of the flooding concerns. In downtown State College, I'm Brad Guay for Weather or Not.
Hello there again, Central Pennsylvania. Ryan Belz back here with your extended forecast. We're going to start off with our weekend recap. Looking great to start off. Friday, gorgeous conditions, mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the upper 70s, and temperatures are going to remain in the upper 70s throughout the entire weekend. 77 for your Saturday and 79 going into Sunday. Both Saturday and Sunday don't look too bad. Chance for some scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, but it's going to be dry to start off both days. Our extended forecast going into next week. We're going to stay dry for the most part on Monday and Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies. Can't rule out the slight chance for a scattered afternoon shower or storm, but the better chance comes Wednesday and Thursday. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms, but it's going to be nice in the beginning part of the day. We're going to see partly cloudy skies. And for Friday, looking out ahead to next Friday, looks like a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures throughout all of next week remain steady, right around average. This average for this time of the year is right around 84 degrees.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome.
Before we run out of time on this week's show, we want to get back to the Weather Whiz quiz that we asked you earlier. How many tornadoes have occurred in Pennsylvania so far this year? A, 3, B, 5, C, 8, or D, 11? The correct answer is C, 8. And so far this year, we're talking through July 15th.
So through July 15th, our average throughout the entire year is 10. So we've still got a little bit more time that we could see some more tornadoes, but there's none in my forecast for the next week.
That is definitely a good sign. And another piece of good news, we have had no deadly tornadoes so far this year in Pennsylvania either. And we hope it stays that way.
Hopefully.
Well, that's all we have time for this week. Stay tuned next week for more Whether or Not. But for now, I'm your host, Christy Reuille.
And I'm your forecaster, Ryan Belz.
Have a wonderful weekend.